again benching Superman.
Yes, I did. I feel that SteelWolves did some scouting in terms of EVO because EVO don't usually use as Malok in their composition.
Indeed, you're correct, Ursats. And right now we can see that Steel Wolves opting to go again for the newest hero in town with Max, and for that global ultimate as well. But Evo again rebutting that pick with a Zenial and an Alice pick.
Yes, so let's see who would dominate the global ult perspective.
That said, when it comes to the global ult and rather for a new hero perspective right now, you can see again with Steel Wolves opting to go for the newest, more recent hero in the Valiant server in Teamy. So again, that said, Ursats, what do you think so far of Max's tournament showing for this game, for the tournament rather?
In terms of the Wonderkind's display, in terms of the pro play here at Kaisaya's tournament, we haven't seen so much good synergy between his teammates. And then when it comes to Teamy, I'm excited to see Teamy in action for the first time here.
Indeed, that's correct. Ursat said for the most part, again, you could see for EVO, they opted to go for an Airy as well as a Zephys pick for the jungle right now. Meanwhile, Steel Wolves completes their lineup with the Lindis as well as a Tolen team composition. That said, Ursats, that's very. What do you have to say rather for the composition of Steel Wolves right now?
When it comes to the composition of Steel Wolves, I think there's less much frontliners, but I'm curious between the synergy that will come between Teamy and Lindis, because of course Lindis relies on the jungle while Teamy usually activates his first ability while handling the jungle.
Indeed, you're correct, Ursas. Meanwhile, Evo completes their lineup with the L'Oreal pick. And it's interesting to note here, Ursats, that both teams opted to go for a very high-tier mages in terms of the mid lane. So being a mage tier yourself, Ursats, who do you think will win when it comes to the Tulin versus L'Oreal matchup in the mid lane?
Unless Tulens displays a very aggressive take in the mid lane, he will dominate. But if L'Oreal establishes her control in the mid lane, it would be always on the side of L'Oreal.
Indeed. Okay, that's very astute observation right there, Ursas. And by the way, for those who just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, again, you can catch all of the AOV action, especially for Kaisaya's Arena of Valor Valiant Online Community Tournament at various social media channels, which is Twitch TV/KaisayaPH, Twitter.com/KaisayaPH, as well as her YouTube and Facebook page and channels.
Yes, for more AOV content, please don't forget to check in samurai-gamers.com for the latest news, updates, and hero guides for Arena of Valor.
As well, you can also check samurai-gamers.com for the latest in terms of Kaisaya's tournament for some daily roundups as well as weekly takeaways from all the action in this tournament in the Valiant server.
Yes.
Also, you could also note that for the winners of the grand champion of this tournament, the winner will receive 8,000 pesos rather worth of esports jerseys to go along with a 10,000 peso cash prize as well as 10,000 vouchers.
Yes, well, we have to thank you again to Garena PH for providing the 10,000 peso vouchers.
Shout out to GM Alice for that one.
Yes.
Okay, and right now we're gonna have the 30-second mandatory pause so that all of the players at each of the respective teams will be up to date, up to speed when it comes to their devices. And after the 30 seconds, we're going to have the first match of the best-of-3 series between Steel Wolves and EVO.
Yes, looking forward for the mid lane battle between L'Oreal and Tulin, and then looking forward also for Teamy for his first action today.
Okay, that's the tale of the tape, so to speak, ladies and gentlemen. And right now we have, for the most part, the action's about to start, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, right now we're all of the EVO team is going to the mid lane, while also some parts of the SteelWolves are also already going around.
Indeed, you're correct. And for the most part, you can see that there are some interesting developments right now. Again, SteelWolves opting to go for an invade, but again, EVO, none the wiser, always there ready to quell and contest the invade right now. But you can see for the most part, SteelWolves still trying their best to press the issue, but to no avail. EVO getting the Sage Golem for their jungle. at the earlier goings of the game.
Steel was very confident because most of their hero picks, particularly Timmy and Max, are initiator role type of heroes, so we don't have any problem for
And
that.
you're correct, but right now, still, again, it's very commendable for the team. Sorry, for Steel still pressing the issue and again reposing and getting Evo's jungle. Sorry, Might Golem for that matter. And interesting invade tactics on display here for Steelwolves at the moment.
Yes, Timmy should be played very aggressively as a support tank.
Indeed, you're correct. And right now, we can see again the classic matchup in terms of lineups composition for the lanes. You can see again that for the most part earlier, we could see. Oh, sorry, for the right now, I guess. Airy being a little bit too deep in the jungle this early and being a victim of the first blood honors going for Steel Wolves.
Yes, there's some good rotation and roaming possibility on the side of Steel Wolves, so everyone needs to be aware of that.
Indeed, and right now you could see again going back to the lane assignments. You could see for the most part the Dark Slayer lane comprised of Lubu against pitting against the Zenial, a rather standard composition at standard matchup, so to speak. But right now you can see again the Tulin managing to juke and jive against L'Oreal's damage. And for the mid lane, still a hodgepodge going. Depending on depending on the lane, getting my words caught up with me right there.
Yes. So apparently Zenial is trying to provide support in the mid lane, while Alice, Zephys, and Timmy trying to duke it out near the Abyssal Dragon.
You're correct right now, but again, you can see again Zephys effectively sniping down, taking out Lindis from SteelWolves for now 1-1 team score in favor for 1-1 score. Even.
A lot of rush gaming right now between SteelWolves and EVO. So who lands the proper initiation and gank really wins the battle.
Indeed, you're correct. Right now, the story of the game, for the most part, is how well both teams are essentially roaming and trying to get crucial stops in the form of either kills or securing a high objectives, like it's happening right now with the Abyssal Dragon, which is secured effectively by the EVO. And EVO right now, again, trying to press the issue. Tulin managing to snipe down Airy yet again for some damage, and now there's a team fight going. L'Oreal doing some major damage for EVO right now. Again, getting the double kill against the Max, but Max, before dying, getting the better of Zephys for EVO right now. And again, Zenial finishing off that clash with a kill against the Max, if I remember correct. Yeah.
Yes, so I think SteelWolves forgot that L'Oreal's ultimate has a cooldown explosion afterwards, so they need to be wary of that.
And you're correct. Also commendable rotation right there by Zenial, who's really good map awareness led to that win for EVO. And again, going back, you can see that Steel trying to bounce back and turn the tide so far, and turn the tide they did with an awesome picking off of Lindis and L'Oreal near the middle tower of SteelWolves' side.
Yes, right now Timmy trying to possibly wait. Oh my God! So actually, Lindis already in the opposite side of the jungle, trying to steal the mighty buff, and on that side, Ares also trying to get up.
Okay,
to catch up on Tolan.
Indeed, you're correct, and it's interesting to note that still Lindis, despite some setbacks and getting killed early as well, she's still doing her best to get her jungling path and experience up, so that she can roll with the punches, so to speak, when it comes to clashes and picking off the carries of EVO as well as maybe the Alice.
Yes, I guess on the side of Tolan and Lindis, they coordinate very well because Tolan needs his Thunderclap passive, while Lindis needs to those skills for her juggling.
But right now there's a 3-on-1 assault happening gank right there, and in favor of with Lubu being caught off guard by a 3-man gank in favor of EVO. It's very that's a very story of the game still interesting and nice picking off and rotations as well as responding for both teams right now.
And so far, there's no team that already dictates the game right now. And now you can see that Max already popped the ult, trying to select which hero for the opposite side to target. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pull it through.
But I guess that was a very nice trying to throw away the scent, I guess you could say, or trying to fend off possible engagements during the Abyssal Dragon secure, so that SteelWolves rather would Abyssal Dragon for their team and get it. They did essentially.
Yes.
Right now, after almost 6 minutes of game, we can see that the score is virtually identical for the most part. 5 kills apiece for both SteelWolves as well as EVO. In terms of goal advantage, slight goal advantage goes to SteelWolves for the most part.
Yes, right now, all the teams are already rotating, while in the mid lane they're trying to dictate who will cover.
Indeed, you're correct there, Ursat. So for the most part, right now, at the early stages of the game, what can you say about the newest heroes in their impact so far for SteelWolves?
When it comes to Teamy, actually your actually it represents having your own ancestral glory. So it provides additional resurrection, sustain for max, additional global ult coverage.
Indeed, but right now, sorry, because there's some action that happened right there earlier with again a 3-man death squad, three people, sorry, rather from SteelWolves getting the shorter end of the stick right there, thanks in part for a nice 5-man gap at the Abyssal Dragon lane in favor for EVO.
Yeah, too bad Tulan can catch up with them.
Indeed, you're correct. And for the most part, it's still the same story apart from the when it comes to getting the details straight. When it comes to roaming, the Alice is still showing how valuable she is when it comes to netting or ganking lanes for her team.
Yeah, Alice needs to work better. Wait a minute, there's Max coming in, trying to prevent Alice and every in their composition attacks, but
commendable moves right there by Alice, doing her best to keep the Airy alive and kicking. So much so that goes to show how strong. Maybe it could be that Alice is a good counter for Max, especially in this goings of the match.
Yes, apparently so here in this particular battle.
But right now, again, not to be deterred, the SteelWolves managing to secure the second Abyssal Dragon. That right now, Alice being caught off guard with Tulen getting the kill again for SteelWolves, ladies and gentlemen.
No candies for Alice this time.
Indeed, you're correct. For the most part, you can see from the top lane, Lubu still continuing that Lubu thing that he does so well, pressuring the top lane for the essentially getting the top tower for SteelWolves.
Yeah, it's very interesting to note that SteelWolves Lubu is a high win condition hero, so that people should take note of that when battling him.
Indeed, you're correct. And right now, again, Lubu still very one of the more you could say I wouldn't say straightforward when it comes to strategy, but whatever he does it really well.
Yes.
Which usually is in the form of pushing the lanes and what have you. But right now, again, you can see the Tulen and the Zephys doing some engagement, exchanging some hellos and highs in the form of abilities for the most part in the middle lane earlier.
Yeah, for Tulen to be very effective, you should use his ult when the HP of the enemy is really, really low.
That's correct, Ursas. That for the most part, in terms of for EVO, what do you have to say when it comes to their goal deficit for the most part, even though it's a little small during this game?
I guess it relates to farming, so apart from actually rotating, they should also secure killing some minions or monsters along the way.
And you're correct. And again, you can see Alice trying to snipe a little, trying to slow or stun rather some of the SteelWolves players in the middle lane, but to no avail. Again, they're still jockeying for position right now, waiting for a slight opening for either team to make like a misstep so that they can take full advantage of it for this part of the game.
Yes, there's L'Oreal lurking behind on the upper region.
You can see right there. Okay. But now there's I guess again you can see SteelWolves imposing their will and again trying to steal and effectively stealing the the Sage buff off EVO's jungle, and also rotating quickly in the middle lane to get the middle tower for SteelWolves.
Yeah, apparently they're also targeting the Abyssal Dragon, trying to get more lead when it comes to the gold acquisition.
These are correct, Ursats. It's very novel to see right now. Excellent roaming and objective control right there by SteelWolves. And again, Teamy using his ultimate, trying to escape and getting and essentially soaking most of the damage right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tulen getting Max being destroyed by Tulen rather. But then you can see Alice and Zephys making short work. They're tandem in office right now, and again going back for the L'Oreal as well as the Airy, still making the most out of that sequence in favor for EVO.
Yes, good execution by EVO, especially her L'Oreal's teammates focusing on them within the range of her ultimate.
Indeed, and right now again you can see On the Dark Slayer side of things, again, Lubu still continues to pressure the top lane, essentially getting the second tower already for SteelWolves. I guess that's the story of the game again so far, after at least for the middle part of this game, wherein Lubu still going ever reliable,
Yes.
rather, still getting slight goal advantage for his team in the form of pushing the lane.
And apparently, the EVO is already attempting to take the Dark Slayer, but Lubu was there trying to prevent the actual acquisition of the Dark Slayer.
Joker, but right now I guess we're gonna have a clash for the for the Dark Slayer right now with Lubu again trying his best to snipe down or essentially pin down the Airy, but Airy being so quick right now. The Dark Slayer is about to go down. Dark Slayer secured by EVO, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, EVO on the offensive. Ultimate goes down. Angelic Splendor for Zenial, and Zenial getting another kill for his team
Too bad for Irie.
right now. But Aries saying getting the shorter end, getting the sharp end of Lubu's stick, so to speak, for SteelWolves.
And apparently, it's hard to duel Lubu one by one because of his lifesteal role.
Indeed, you're correct there, Ursas. But right now, you can see that Evo still uh, applying the pressure so far, especially right now
Power spike
with the
from
Dark
the
Slayer buff right now. They're essentially mowing down, essentially gunning down towards the top lane, the Dark Slayer lane.
Yes, I guess Evo has to focus on objectives right now, trying to push it, trying to tell the opposite team, Steel Wolves, that they can change the tide of the game.
Indeed, but right now you can see again so much domination right now, making the most out of that Dark Slayer buff late in the as of 12 minutes of gameplay right now. Very competitive match to say the least, isn't it,
It's very
Irsas?
competitive. It still depends on Steel Wolves or Evo, so nothing has been decided yet.
Indeed, you're correct there. So for the most part, after 12 minutes 30 seconds of gameplay, the gold advantage still almost tie. Oh no, sorry, almost very negligible difference for the most part with 34k rather for SteelWolves, while 33k for we call this 33k for Evo. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can see off screen we saw that Airy managing to snipe down Max. And again, going back to that Dark Slayer lane, what do you think should Evo continue when it comes to their strategy for this game?
I guess for Evo, they need to continually push it against the side of Steel Wolves, trying to tell them a message that they can actually control the game.
And right now you can see that again, sorry, SteelWolves almost getting gutted by the awesome display of burst damage in the form of L'Oreal as well as Zephyr. They're almost getting most of SteelWolves' health down to very low. Thankfully, that the high ground tower was there as their sixth man to prevent further damage in part of SteelWolves.
Yes, Evo heroes are very confident because of their Zenial on their part of the team. So any of the squishy burst heroes they can engage anytime because there's a Zenial at the back.
Story of the game also when it comes to engaging, it's very novel to see that for the most part, while the Teamy, sorry, by SWNG, if that's correct, sorry if I butchered your name, after he engages, he needs he needs his team to be they call this. He needs to follow up. He needs some follow up damage because he initiates really well. But on to commend the side of Evo, they're really good when it comes to protecting essentially stifling the engage by SteelWolves right now.
Yes, apparently Timmy needs to be effective together with another ally hero, and unfortunately he's being targeted as a main priority.
And then right now you can see again, L'Oreal and Zenial doing the tandem office that they're known so well. L'Oreal bursting down, the Teamy opting up, being a bro. It's not enough for him to be saved right now. L'Oreal doing a double kill against SteelWolves again, but for Tulin still managing to get a kill for his team, but rather the 4 ace situation happening right now in favor of Evo. And I think Evo right now on the verge of winning this game of the best of 3 series against SteelWolves and winning the game, hammering the core down for the ace, for the win. Evo winning best of 3 series game 1.
Yes, very commendable and very unfortunate for the Max who wasn't able to take advantage of his passive against Evo.
Again, that's the story of the game so far for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent rotations all together, but for the lack of a better term, at the end of the day, Evo managing to best SteelWolves for game 1. You can see right now for the scoreboard, the box score, you could say, Zenial getting the high grades so far with a 609 showing for KDA as well, going for a 15.3 MVP score.
Yes, also would like to commend L'Oreal because she was able to build her items as well as Zeph is providing support, additional kills for her team.
Indeed, you're correct. And right now, we can see again, we're preparing right now for the second game, for game 2 of Steel Wolves versus EVO. Again, going back to that first game, Ersatz, what can you say about the narrative? What can you say about the Max and Teamy composition?
I guess when it comes to the Teamy and Max synergy, we weren't able to witness this because Teamy mostly spends time with Tulin. As for the side of the EVO, Xenion was able to perform his duties, trying to provide global support to any of the squishy heroes, either L'Oreal or Zephyrs or Irie, and also Alice trying to get close for each of their teammates.
That's correct, Ersatz. And for the most part, I think when it comes to the combination of Max and Teamy, I think there's some misalignment or mis-synergy, if that's a word, sorry. Considering that Max is someone who wants to dive.
Yes.
He wants to go in for the kill, but for the most part, his team composition in the form of Teamy, he needs to protect the carries when it comes to, what do you call this? When it comes to team fights, which is why I guess for the most part, Steel Wolves, sorry, no, Steel Wolves, no. Sorry, EVO was quick to point to see it and make the most out of it, take advantage of it, so to speak, so that being a bro wasn't really a big factor when it comes to team fights.
And unfortunately, Teamy and Max are both initiator type of heroes, so they need to coordinate who would lead the first initiation, the second initiation, for Tulin, Lindis, and Lubu to follow up.
Indeed, you're correct right now. So for the most part, we're still waiting for the second game. Again, so far, when it comes to the Teamy, since it's your first time or to see the tandem in action, what can you say about his performance?
I guess we weren't able to witness how Teamy is very influential in the game. I look forward for another Teamy display in the coming games today.
Indeed, you're correct. So do I. But also when it comes to heroes that we need to see as well, I'm really hoping so far that again Superman has to be unleashed, since for the most part we know, I guess most of the players know rather that Superman, the last son of Krypton, is a very 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 strong hero in this game, so much so that he almost gets the ban every single game for either one of the team.
And if ever a team or a battle wasn't able to ban them, you can see the powerful display of Superman against the opposite team.
Indeed, you're correct. So right now, again, for those who just joined us, again, welcome to Kaisaya's Arena of Valor Valiant Online Community Tournament. This is going to be round 3 of the winner's bracket, or sorry, the upper bracket rather, between Steel Wolves and EVO. This is game 2, wherein the first game, EVO was victorious from this decent, very awesome showing of very competitive AOV action.
Yes. Also, we would like to thank Samurai Gamers for the additional prize pool support, also Garena for the additional vouchers.
Indeed, and also, by the way, for the most part right now, for those who are watching us at Twitch, it's worth, Kaisaya is planning to give away 500 vouchers worth of skin giveaways in the event that we reach almost, 95 and above views.
Yeah, so please try to invite your friends to watch the stream anytime until within the day.
Especially for if they want to see some awesome high competitive AOV action here at Kaisaya's tournament.
Yes. Also, after this particular match, we will be taking a break and we will resume before 8:30 p.m.
You're correct right there, Ersatz. And right now, we're still finalizing the team composition. For the most part, I think EVO is going for the side switch.
Yep. Right
now, for the second game, we will have the EVO going in the blue side, while Steel Wolves are going to be at the red side.
Yes. So very surprising because Steel Wolves was able to select their win condition here, which is Lubu, but apparently it wasn't a huge factor for them to win this particular game.
That's true. Although we have to commend both teams when it comes to their rotations
Yes.
and their responses when it comes to most of the clashes in the game actually. Granted, there were some instances wherein Aerie was caught off guard early in the game, but for the most part, both teams are really cohesive enough to know when was the right time for a clash and when was the right time to turn the tide, so to speak.
Yeah, so it's very important to participate on community tournaments like with Kaisaya's AOV so that teams could practice in preparation for the upcoming new season of Baylor Cup here in the C server.
Indeed, you're correct. And for the most part, for those who are who are new to the Valiant server and who are just watching this stream live stream right now, it's an opportunity for you guys to see how the people from this side of the pond, so to speak, are being are using or essentially playing
Yes.
AOV in terms of the meta here.
Yes.
That said, something light. Let's go to something light right now since we're still waiting. For the most part, since when Max is the latest hero, but I've been hearing rumblings that the next hero that will be available for the Valiant server would be Liliana. Is that correct, Rosette?
Yes, the Gumiho has been teased in the game, so I guess for me as a mage main user, I'm very excited on the new mechanic Liliana will introduce to the game. Apparently, she shares some mechanic with Superman, trying to have more than 3 abilities in the game.
That is interesting. It's going to be one of those heroes who will be really very from the onset very complicated to handle, but when you handle it really well, it's going to be a highlight reel kind of hero for the most part. But right now, again, sorry, we're going to go back to Earth. Going back to the second game between EVO and SteelWolves, we can see for the picks and bans. Right now, again, EVO banning Superman while SteelWolves banning Zephys.
I think the Zephys is more of a respect ban against the Evo side, and then right now we're coming after Alice. There's a Zenial again, the perfect tandem on the side of Evo, and now Malok is free. This time he will be partnered with Teamy.
Indeed, you're correct. But for the most part, I guess when it comes to again, you can see right now with a nice Kilgroth. Oh, I thought he was gonna go for a Kilgroth pick there,
I was so
but
excited.
again, going for the Airy pick. Essentially, that's the story of the game right now for the most part. Considering that you can see that it's still there. Evo still going for a very team fight based composition with the Alice as well as the Zenya. And it would be novel to see if we see someone other than L'Oreal for their magic damage for this final lineup of them. There's actually.
As you can see here, Evo is going for a traditional marksman pick with the Violet and the L'Oreal. So again, it's very traditional. And on the side of SteelWolves, they already have a front heavy and a surprise. Oops, I thought it was a Yorn, but now it's a Joker.
Indeed, it would be fun if we saw some Yorn action right there,
Yeah.
especially like a couple of the games so far. We saw some interest like throwback Valheim picks, but
The Valorn.
yeah, but today I guess we're gonna go again for the meta abides. The meta still stands rather with the Joker pick. So right now again you can see completing the team for respective teams for Evo. We have Alice, Zenial, Airy, Violet, and L'Oreal. Meanwhile, SteelWolves will go for Lubu, Teamy, Malok, as well as the Joker. That said, Rosets, when it comes to team composition, who do you think has the better synergy when it comes to abilities?
I think when it comes to synergy abilities, I think there's more synergy that can be found with the Evo, but we can be wrong if Stable was able to display their composition very well.
Indeed, you're correct. And for the most part, if you notice the lineup of Steel Wolves, it kind of seems to be more of a reactive pick, like a counter pick, rather than a very a strategy-laden team composition. Since Evo got Violet, of course, it's quite. Rather Alice as well as some of the damage or
Evo was able to perform right now. So again, looking forward, if Team will be able to provide the proper support and initiation for his team, and then on the side of Irie, Violet, and L'Oreal, looking forward for their synergy.
Indeed, you're correct. So right now we're gonna go for the second game between EVO against Steel Wolves for the best of three in Kaisaya's upper bracket tournament.
Yes. Right now, Joker going to the mid lane. And right on the opposite side, we can see also L'Oreal going to the mid lane.
Indeed. So far, again, you could see that. I guess when it comes to adjustments, did you think for Steel Wolves their adjustment from the first game is enough right now with their team composition against EVO?
I think they made a good decision on banning Zephys, I guess, because it was a big factor in the previous game on the side of EVO. Now, this is an opportunity for EVO to show to the other side that they are very flexible when it comes to their picks.
That's correct. And interesting to note also for EVO that they also used they're also employing Violet for their jungler,
Yes.
which is a very novel concept for the most part. I mean, a jungle Violet is still a very, you can say season 1, season 2 mainstay, given her awesome burst damage. Although when it comes to jungle clear, more often than that, she needs help,
Yes.
rather.
And that's why there was a player named Arena of Violet because there's too much Arena of Violet can produce for her team.
Indeed, you're correct there. For right now, so the early goings of the game, you can see for the most part the team compositions right now. Oh, sorry, for the right now we can see Lubu again being on the shorter end of the stick with the first blood honors going for Steel Wolves with an excellent three-man gank at the bottom side, at the Abyssal Dragon side in favor of EVO. Sorry.
Again, good roaming support for Alice to provide protection for Violet while she farms for her team.
Indeed, you're correct. So it's also novel to see again. We see how the roaming Alice paying much dividends for the team, especially right now for EVO at the early stage of the game.
Yes, Alice needs to be consistent with her playstyle. While we can see Malok trying to pick L'Oreal on the side, but unfortunately it didn't reach.
Indeed, you're correct. But right now you can see for the most part going back to maintain at least get back the gold lost because of the first blood.
Yes.
Steel was managing to effectively secure Abyssal Dragon, the first Abyssal Dragon for the game.
Yes, good reaction.
Indeed, right now for the most part, in terms of gold, both teams seem to be dead even with the first blood honors going for EVO at the moment.
Yes, again, good reaction to the side of SteelWolves trying to get Abyssal Dragon to make up for the kill.
Indeed, Jerker, but right now you can see Zeno almost getting killed by the gank by Timmy on the top lane, but to no avail. Again, you can see how strong or very tanky Zenial is when it comes to having a solo lane by himself when it comes to experience and goal advantage.
Yes. One of the unique passives of Timmy, if he attaches himself near to the hero, they can earn extra gold. So it's good for Timmy to roam and support his teammates.
Indeed. But right now you can see again the players still jockeying for position, ladies and gentlemen, with the L'Oreal flanking the middle lane, just hiding in the brush, trying to pick off players from SteelWolves right now. But SteelWolves right now, again, you can see the Joker manning the front lines, or at least the middle lane rather, against the L'Oreal, which is an interesting matchup to say the least.
Yes. Unfortunately, Jur cannot land his abilities towards L'Oreal.
But again, you can see right now that Zenial in the getting almost trying to escape with an angelic splendor, but Woodstock with has something to say in the form of shock by effectively disabling Zenial's getaway for a kill for SteelWolves, rather.
Too bad for Zenia, wasn't able to put it off.
But right now we can see again Alice rather, in the wrong side of the fence, being caught with her hands, sitting on her hands rather, and the brush, being the victim of a four-man gank. Again, with Malok getting the kill for SteelWolves. So right now it's very interesting to note that SteelWolves managing to turn the momentum slightly in their favor.
Yes. So unfortunately, Alice was able to take all of the putty-puts attack from Timmy, and then Malok was able to secure it.
Indeed, and speaking of secure, you could see earlier that SteelWolves just managed to secure their second Abyssal Dragon for this game. That said, right now, what do you think, Ursats, is EVO's strategy when it comes to stop the bleeding, so to speak, when it comes to gold and experience advantage?
Again, I guess on the side of EVO, they need to be very wary of their coordination, especially when it comes to the synergy. There's a synergy advantage of the side of SteelWolves, so they need to be very wary about that, and they need to coordinate on how to land their abilities.
Indeed, you're correct. But for the most part, if you see the items right now, Violet already having the Scorching Wind online, a very interesting choice of jungling item for Violet, since usually we see her going for the Soul Reaver
Yes,
in
yes.
terms of having more burst damage on his side. But again, stranger things have happened, and see right now, essentially, that's what makes Violet a very still viable option when it
Yes.
comes to having the S tier marksman at your favor.
Yes, other than Lindes, Violet really is very. Wait a minute, this is air attack. Okay, just a moment. L'Oreal trying to inflict his ultimate. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to secure.
And Violet's still trying to make them try to escape and try to kite away Teamy
Oh,
right now with some awesome
the
pot
put it
shots right
boots.
now. But Puri was
Oh,
oh
very bad.
nice play right there. Trying to get away right there again by the Violet. Awesome play right there for Evo. But at the other side of the fence rather, Steelers effectively won that clash
Yes.
essentially. But for the most part, it's hats off to Jers with some awesome Violet maneuvering and kiting on
Yes.
his side right there against the Teamy.
Yes, trying to prevent teammate release is very, very bad farts.
Indeed, you're correct. It's very hard to release a bad fart actually, especially when it comes to crunch time. But right now, you can see for the most part, rather, the grander scheme of things, Steel Wolves going against, turning the tide so far. The momentum is slightly edging in their favor for the latter part of at least the latter stages rather of the early
Yes.
game.
So right now, it's more of getting the kills and the gold acquisition and already secured the Abyssal Dragon and trying to invade the other jungle.
Indeed, you can see right now, for the most part, when it comes to roaming and getting the objective, Steel Wolves seems to be getting all of the necessary stops right there, with getting three Abyssal Dragons right now. But you can see Airy bomb rushing, trying his best to do some damage, but again, Teamy and also almost all of the Steelers
Yeah.
still managing to weather the storm, so to speak. But Zan is still again trying to do some Zanis things. But Airy has something to say about the Zanis, killing the Zanis in that respect. And again, the Lubu falling before, but only before killing the Violet for an ultimate. But also that shutdown is going to be costly for Steel Wolves.
Yeah, good positioning by Irie trying to deny and try to confuse the side of Steel Wolves.
And you're correct. And right now you can see Airy still trying to do some airy things for the most part. And again, you can see for the right now, Evo getting the first tower. So many fast action, too close to call, too
Yeah,
fast to call.
yeah.
But that's just how it goes for games in Arena of Valor. Very from 0 to 100 in terms of gameplay, or at least highlights right now.
I think right now Evo and Steel was trying to give everything out for their team, trying for Evo side trying to already close the deal, but Steel Wolves trying to bring it to the third game.
Indeed, you're correct right now. Evo still trying their best to manage getting their groove back, so to speak. But I guess Steel still continuing the pressure right now. Still right, trying to set up a gank right now in the middle lane for the most part, but to no avail considering that Evo still has some other plans, specifically trying to roam and trying to pick off some out of position SW players.
Yes, apparently I'm still curious on what will Xanis will do. Apparently he doesn't have too much action yet.
That's correct, Ursas. And again, the story of the game so far, when it comes to strategies, is how masterful the way Steel Wolves have been doing when it comes to securing high level objectives, such as again, look at this. In under almost 9 minutes of gameplay, they secured their fourth Abyssal Dragon already.
Yes.
It's very nice showing when it comes to map control and objective control for Steel Wolves.
Yes, because they really pick their high win condition heroes. They were very familiar from it, so they can perform very well.
And again, you can see right now, for the most part,
Oh my
Airy
God,
almost
too bad.
getting damaged and getting gutted by the Teamy as well as Zanis.
Yeah.
But Zenial for the save. But again, you can see again the Steel Wolves managing to rally forward and try to make a possible clash right now. But again, it was sorted. But Zenial trying his best to essentially disable Zanis, but that's easier said than done considering his abilities. But again, L'Oreal managing to get Teamy out of position
Twice.
with Alice with the save, and again getting the kill for Evo.
Yes, and also would like to commend the Irie earlier was able to predict the release of Putty Puts, disabling the opportunity to kill for Teamy.
That's true. Such as the very mobile airy for you. It's which is considering since essentially Airy is one of the more popular heroes here in the Valiant server so
Yes,
far.
yes. Apparently because she doesn't consume any um, mana for her abilities.
And now we can see now EVO trying their best to rebut that initial gank from the bot lane, trying to secure the Might Golem, but Zanis and Malak had something to say about that, trying effectively quelling that invade again. But for now, again, you can see off screen rather, Lubu getting the bottom tower already for SteelWolves.
Yes, apparently Lubu and Zenya are trying to look it out who will get the next tower, either the lower ground on the side of SteelWolves or the lower ground side of EVO.
Indeed, you're correct. That said, what can you say regarding the going back again to the Zanis pick? What can you say about his performance so far in this game?
I think SteelWolves should give opportunity for Zanis to snowball so that he can actually kill most heroes on the opposite side.
That's true, but when it comes to the killing aspect, rather, you could say, Zanis still jury's still out for Zaz, but what he lacks in the kills, he more than makes up for in objective control. But speaking of objective control, we could see right now that for the most part, EVO managing to secure their Dark Slayer and now running roughshod, trying to eke out a win or eke out a team fight against EVO and Malok with the being a bro, being safe, but to no avail. You can be a bro by so much, but you can still gonna get gotten by a four-man four-man death squad in the form of EVO right now.
It can only be revived once.
Indeed. So at almost 12 minutes of gameplay, 11 minutes, 30 seconds of gameplay, you can see again, for the most part, EVO, when it comes to team kills, they are ahead just by 1 kill, 7-6. But in terms of gold advantage still in favor of SteelWolves.
I think it's a battle between who has the more items and the more level.
Indeed, you're correct right there. But we can see again, for the right now, EVO employing a very 5-man roaming technique. With considering that they have the Dark Slayer buff right now, they're still waiting at the brush side near the Dark Slayer at the top of trying to destroy that. Trying to destroy that tower for the most part, but still, again, you could see Airy doing some Airy things right now, doing their best to engage it. They do. L'Oreal with the damage again. Nice heal there by Alice. Again, you can see EVO now doing some damage again. Being a bro, is it? Did it? Oh, sorry, it didn't hit. Sorry, my bad. Since Timmy was already dead before anything happened, and right now again, EVO taking advantage, getting the tower, getting 2 towers as well as 2 kills for that exchange, ladies and gentlemen.
Fortunately, the attempt of SteelWolves to push the towers from the lower ground wasn't successful because EVO was able to consistently perform some kills.
And again, you can see right there, just happened a while ago again, EVO continuing the pressure, getting getting the Lubu again for some serious damage. And right now, the top tower is in danger of being destroyed in favor for EVO, and destroyed it was, ladies and gentlemen, with Airy, with the sliver of life, going again, trying to make the most out of this position. But again, you can see the Violet so far earning right now her item spike, getting the damage, with Zenya securing the kill for EVO, ladies and gentlemen. What an impressive, dominating, forceful engage and execution in part of EVO.
Yes, very good synergy between Airy and Zeniel. Airy was able to use ultimate at the same time. He was also to pop his first ability.
Indeed, you're correct. And for the most part, I guess the item build for Violet with the Scorching Wind is paying much dividends for EVO right now. Very commendable strategy going into the late game stage of this matchup.
Yes, it really provides Violet a lot of boost when it comes to movement speed and attack speed.
Indeed, you're correct. But the narrative of the story also, when it comes to SteelWolves' strategy for the most part, is I think they haven't gotten very like a 5-man clash.
Yes.
As of late. Meanwhile, EVO is always there, always 5-man strong when it comes to team clash, which is what's happening right now. Again, Timmy being caught off guard, using the being a bro for himself only, but to no avail, getting killed twice and dying twice for his troubles, ladies and gentlemen. And now you can see again EVO doing some major damage, essentially running roughshod, essentially killing, mowing down 4 members of SteelWolves for the almost ace. Meanwhile, the Joker going for a base race, rather. You can see base race. I think Joker trying his best, but right now you can see the damage just is too much for EVO. Violet with the final coup de grace,
Yes.
EVO wins the game 2-0,
Zero.
winning the best of 3 series, ladies and gentlemen. What a very slight turn of events in favor for EVO.
Apparently, attack speed, Violet really works late game, trying to bring down the tower and the core against SteelWolves.
Indeed, you're correct. And right now we can see the box score, 7-16 in favor of EVO, with EVO Jers getting MVP honors thanks to his excellent 5-0-11 KDA. So very novel concept again with the teamy for SteelWolves, commendable for that. But for the most part, when it comes to execution and isolation, you have to give tip our hats to EVO, like really exploiting that the teamy ultimate that uses it to himself rather than everyone else.
Yes, yes.
Actually, early game there was a good synergy between Malok and Timmy, but during the late game, everything starts confusing already.
Indeed, you're correct. And right now, since that's the last game rather for this afternoon, we're gonna have a longer break than usual, considering that after this match we're gonna